What was your best score coming into us?
I think best score was a 365, and then I think the score right before I started actually dropped a couple numbers, and I had gotten a 358.
From 365 or 358,
Yeah,
you just passed your NAVLE with what score?
a 452.
A 452. That's 85, 90 plus point improvement on this test. I knew how, like, you were, depressed, scared, like maybe hopeless, feeling a little hopeless.
Yeah, it was a lot of, because this was my 7th time taking it. And there's only so many times that you can open the same results package or whatever, and see the word fail before you just kind of you can't imagine seeing pass. So I think that's really this last time where I was at, it was hard to even have hope to see pass, even though I know I've done everything right. I've put in the hours. I've done everything that I physically can.
I think we had a phone call.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just do this. And so we go in, and I don't know, it was like 2 months before the test, 2 months before the NAVLE, something like that, 3 months.
Yep.
And I said, look, let's make sure this test taking is actually locked in properly. And architecturally, you had it in, but I think it was that last 10 to 15% of the finer granular rules of the test taking that we needed to screw into place. Would you agree with? Does that sound like I'm on the right track for that?
Most definitely. The study skills helped me get the score into range. Definitely.
Yeah. It closed. The study skills elevated your basement
for real
profoundly. That. They probably pushed you from those 350s up into the fours, into the low fours.
And it got to a point where I was literally 9 points away from passing. So it was I'm right there. And it felt almost like I could not stop. But just honing in on those testing skills and not talking myself out of the right answer and focusing on the modality of the program instead of what I felt in the moment really kind of helped me, just push me over the edge that I needed.
Well, right, because the test taking architecture is all about putting the locus of control on our system, really thinking about me or David, and the system, the blueprint, right? And that's a scaffold and it's a shield against those emotions.
Yeah,
it's not, because the NAVLE is not about being a veterinarian. I don't think. You have to take all this veterinary knowledge, but it's a different arena. Especially if you're just not good in the standardized test taking arena. You didn't go to vet school to be a NAVLE taker.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is, and now most veterinarians, I think there's a lot there. It's just a transparent overlay. I'm a veterinarian. I study veterinary medicine. I take the NAVLE. I pass. I'm good to go. More power to them. But if you're not that person, 20%, 15%, I don't know, of veterinarians, this is where we can come in and make a big difference with methodology. And then I remember we talked, I think the night before the test or 2 days before the test or something.
I think,
what was that? Do you remember what was that conversation about?
I think,
do you remember?
Our last conversation was really just about we talked about the methodology of it all but I think it was more about where I was mentally that time, because we had just been through it so many times that I feel like at that point in time, it just needed to be listen, you got this, you've done the work. Just rely on what the system, lean on the system wholeheartedly, 100%, and everything else will work out. And it really was just a encouragement
Yeah.
and just kind of like just reassured me that, hey, I've done the work regardless of the outcome. You know, you've done the work. Just do what you know you need to do.
Give me 2 or 3 of the main mistype patterns that you identified for yourself in this last build up. Like what were, like, if I was like, tell me some of the really bad things you were doing and then how you sort of fixed it pattern
So,
wise.
one of the bad things that, okay, so 3 of them. Um,
Or one is
so one of the bad things that I'll often do is that when I got to a tie break, um, I wouldn't work through the whole tie break. I would sit
Yeah.
there and I would let my feelings on the subject kind of dictate where I was going next. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I would realize that I would kind of weigh them out or compare them when I really should have done like,
Just smashing
uh-huh,
smashing them together, and it's like which rock crumbles first, and
yep,
then it's usually you end up picking, and then you lose sight of the clues up in the passage,
mm-hmm,
right? And you're like, I think comparing can be really unhealthy
yeah,
because I think it overloads the working memory, and then it almost for you, I think it turned it into a referendum
mm-hmm,
on which one do I know more about,
yep,
and then it's like you're
exactly,
using your knowledge to validate and pick the wrong answer.
mm-hmm,
Painful,
yeah,
and it's not logical, and you're a logical person, as are most of my clients,
mm-hmm,
and then I think the emotion makes you behave so illogically, right?
yeah. Another big one was like when I got um very dense questions, like dense information, like a whole paragraph worth of information. I would
Yep.
miss a lot of, or like key clues, really high, like just pinpoint clues that should lead me straight to the answer because I would miss the triangulation. And it would
Yep.
overwhelm me and make my emotions once again take over. And I would not triangulate like I should. And
Yep.
so I would notice that when I did like the DAWs and things of that nature, that if I took my time and like just picked out 3 big things out of that big amount of information, it would have made all of the difference in how I answered the
Love it.
question.
Yeah, we call it, we triangulation is like one of these reading actions that we teach, right?
Mhm.
In the passage, pick 3 main clues, and you can link and chunk and all that stuff. And it sounds like, oh, but 3, I need more than 3. It's like, yeah, I know. But the 3, especially if they're like pointy edges or dichotomies or extremes or timelines, if you pick those, it builds a scaffold that makes other things stickier. And like you said, if
Yeah.
you just do that, because otherwise you feel overwhelmed by the massive body of text, and then you like think more about these species and maybe one random clue,
Yep.
right? And you're like, Dobermans and a lump, bang.
Mhm.
And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, how long has it been there? What's the size? What are the other symptoms? And looking for, I mean, that's, so that we call that a first phase miss.
Mhm.
So, first phase is everything above the answer options. First phase, answer options, second phase, tie break, third phase. So, you cited issues that you identified and fixed in the first phase, and then the tie break,
Yeah.
the third phase, fixing that. What about in the second phase in the options?
So
Anything major there for you?
I would abuse the question mark pretty often. Um,
Yeah, you were.
and so
Yes, you
if
were.
I once again was leaning on what I felt about the answer, what I felt like I knew more, if I
Mm-hmm.
did not feel like I knew enough about the,
Question mark.
I would put a question mark. Even if I knew
Question
like
mark.
this one little thing about it, that could have
Mm-hmm.
even ruled it out and said, no, this isn't the answer, or even ruled it in and said maybe, and
Yeah.
then it could have been a minus.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
Abusing that question mark took that, a lot of times took it out of the realm of play for me, and so it would
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
make
It's
it to
taken.
the, yep, it wouldn't make it to the third phase or a tie break because I would know something more about something else, lean towards that, and immediately go for that.
So now you've passed.
Yep,
What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
everything. Like I get, um, like the state
Your
that I'm
life?
in, yeah, my life can start. Like it's a whole new phase of life for me. I am no longer
Wow.
tied to just one job or one state. This is a national, or like at least the North American side of it, but like anywhere in America, I wanted to move or, travel, work, and try different things, getting some more knowledge outside of just like small animal and things of that nature, large animal. I can now try that and go for that. Because there's so many other things that I wanted to explore within my career that I haven't been able to, just because of this hump that I had to get over. So now it's finally done,
It's amazing. So and how bleak was it? Like you were looking at, like, if you didn't pass this test, if you're a veterinary, you have your doctor of veterinary medicine, you went through vet school,
Yeah.
like earning, like you could work as like a vet,
Vet
work in the
tech.
field, but not get paid,
Yeah. Yeah, I would
not
have
have.
been like, if I didn't pass this time, I honestly just kind of forget upon myself that I would have been changing jobs or changing careers. And even if I stayed within like the veterinary world or veterinary career, it would definitely not be. I would not be paid what I, would make as a doctor, of course. I would probably not be practicing medicine at all. Probably would not be in a hospital. I'd probably be like in more of corporate or something if I stayed, or even like working for the government. And all of those things can be great, but not having your license limits a lot of what you can do in the veterinary world. Like even working for like the government and things of that nature, like you still need your license to, you know, examine this animal and search about this disease and advance even more. So I was like, we're gonna have to totally pivot. I was ready to pivot.
Wow. Well, you don't have to now. So this is amazing. And that's where we are. Your life is now in front of you. And I guess if I had to ask, like, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, what role do you think the StatMed Reboot Camp played in your success?
Scale of 1 to 10, I think I'll give you guys like a 7.
I mean, you did all the work.
Yeah.
You did all the work. You did the work.
I give
you
myself,
have the ability.
I definitely,
it's just methodology.
yeah, I definitely
I give you a 10. I give you a 10. They're two separate scales.
Most definitely.
So on the like, this was like you put in the work all the way before I met you to then during working with you and then executing it on test day. That's a 10. And a 10 doesn't mean perfection. 10 means you did enough. I mean, again, moving that score to a 452, starting in the 358, 365s.
Yeah.
That's on you, because this is never about beating the test. We're not outsmarting the test. This is not about deductive reasoning strategies. Those are all scrubbed out. That's nothing. This was about cleaning up your own user interface on the study side, on the management side, and on that test taking side, right?
Yeah.
So that's all that stuff, right? And you did all that. And then we just provided structure and rules and methodologies that you then did. I mean, we spent a lot of time together, but not that much. I mean, you're doing all that work on your own.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it pay off.
But you guys providing the tools to get me over the hump, and the study tools were like something I definitely could have used like even before taking this test. Like,
yeah.
It was like how I used to study before I took StatMed and things of that nature. Like I would have to have a distraction. I needed music. I needed like all this background noise and things to kind of pile on top of, like, just to get me to be able to focus on those type of things.
Just to be there.
Yes.
Like I'm
without
here.
getting sleepy, or, without losing focus.
Yeah.
And StatMed provided like just a realm, a way for me to actually sit down, not need all the distractions, and to be able to actually apply and work out the knowledge and without all of the extra noise. In undergrad, just for example, I held like a 3.8, 3.9 almost every semester.
Yeah, superstar.
No problem.
Superstar, right?
Coming into, I think, my first year of vet school, I was like put on academic probation because I did not know how to study for these tests. They were totally different. They are, the information is, the load of information that is given to you is totally different.
Imagine if I intervened with you between first and second year vet school.
Yeah.
And if I taught you all these studies, and we do this in our StatMed study skills class, if I taught you all these study skills and the test taking architecture at that juncture, what does that do to your, I mean,
Just the study
everything, doesn't it?
skills. I feel like
Yeah.
just like first or second year, just to learn like even the baseline, the first couple of classes of like, this is how you should study, especially for
Framework, lecture, read and mark, retrieval
I feel like
practice,
people's grades
academic study
and everything
agenda.
would just skyrocket